Polar Lights, 1701 Club, 1/1350 scale, U.S.S. Enterprise, NCC 1701. When Polar Lights announced that they were going to be releasing a model of the U.S.S. Enterprise, NCC 1701 in 1/350 scale, there was much anticipation and excitement. The release would be a culmination of many hours of planning and designing the model kit. Polar Lights had a version of the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701 refit, as well as the NCC 1701A in 1/350 scale, and they were very popular. The second of these kits would even include a complete set of Aztec decals to cover the ship with. Polar Lights decided to release the U.S.S. Enterprise Original Television Series Edition model kit. Its initial release would be on a first-come, first-served basis. It would be called the 1701 Club and would feature the premier 1/350 scale model kit of the U.S.S. Enterprise. The standard kit issue would be released after the Premier Edition was sold out. The Premier Edition of the model kit would come with extras that would make it special and highly collectible. After the standard issue would be released, a variety of additional and supplemental packs were made available to enhance or alter the base model kit. In this video, I'm going to attempt to show you some of the history behind the making of this great model. This model and its measurements and specifications would come directly from the filming model of the U.S.S. Enterprise located at the Smithsonian. Contrary to popular belief, the 1/350 scale filming model of the Enterprise used in the original series was not referenced at all. In fact, the model shown in popular promotional photographs of Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner holding the model ship had long since vanished without a trace, and its whereabouts are unknown today. So let's take a look at some of the people who worked on this amazing project and made it possible. Here are just a few people involved in the project with a brief explanation of their contributions. The first person is Gary Kerr, who designed the model kit, worked on the original U.S.S. Enterprise back in 1991, and was able to obtain measurements as well as exploring the inside of the ship as it was slowly taken apart. He actually analyzed the model at the Smithsonian's restoration facility for additional details. The actual shuttle bay measurements were too large to fit into the Enterprise secondary hull, so it had to be resized to fit into the model. All measurements were taken from the 11-foot filming model from the Smithsonian Institute. Photos of the original model were overlaid onto the prototype model for an increased accuracy. Once the measurements and information were complete, a computer three-dimensional model was created. Kerr also added the color patterns and details to the kit. Next is Jamie Hood, who is the art director and brand manager for Polar Lights and Round 2 models. He had different plans or ideas for the box art. He said that there was a Plan A, a Plan B, a Plan C, and a Plan D. Plan A would be the one most likely to be used, or close to it. Plan B would be done by Jamie Hood himself. Plan C would likely involve one of Petrie's renderings. The finished box art paint would be done by Alex Ross. Ross is one of the world's top comic book artists who has done covers for both Marvel and DC to his credit. For the premiere edition, the beautiful rendering would be the starship U.S.S. Enterprise with the faces of Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Spock above it. The illustration would be angled on the box. In the first standard release edition of the model, you saw the box art pretty much stay the same. The picture on the front still has the Enterprise at an angle on the box with the faces of Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Spock. However, the premiere edition had it printed on foil, where you looked at different light and angles of the box and it would form a prism and show different colors. The standard edition had pretty much the same box, but had no foil on the box. Later, in the 50th anniversary of Star Trek Edition release, the U.S.S. Enterprise was moved horizontally and is no longer at an angle. There are illustrations of Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock on the box, but Dr. McCoy is missing. Another person involved would be Michael Anderson, who would also be known as Mr. X. His input involved the separate rings just behind the Bussard collectors, as opposed to a solid piece that would need sanding down on the nacelles. He also introduced the box or grills at the end of each nacelle as separate parts so the ship could be altered if necessary. He was also involved in the final saucer pylon assembly on the model. Anderson was also instrumental in a final Bussard collector assembly as well. He also helped develop the option for the bridge where the turbo lift is correctly angled or installed as seen in the TV show Straight Back. Anderson also helped develop the secondary parts that hold the nacelle pylons in place and braces for the secondary hull. Another person involved with the project would be Jim Small. Small was a consultant to the 1/350 scale U.S.S. Enterprise. Many of his finished models are photographs for the box kits, the box fronts and the sides, not only for popular Star Trek model kits, but for also popular sci-fi favorites like Space 1999, Battlestar Galactica, and Tron, just to name a few. He also was known for finishing models of military grade as well. When it comes to the actual molds that will form the model kit pieces, there is a lot of planning and work that goes into the process. The factory will take specifications and dimensions and work to produce a mold for each separate piece. When a prototype of the injection mold is finished, the factory sends computer files showing the toolings for the injector molds. Each part of the kit is assembled on the computer and can be seen in a 3D, with each separate part having the ability to be removed or added to the overall final assembled model. A computer file of the completed model is shown with the computer's ability to remove each part and each piece by piece, to ensure their compatibility. The time it takes to inject plastic into the mold for each part is around 20 seconds. If you were wondering what the differences are between the 1701 Club Premier Edition and the Standard Edition, then here are a few facts about the kits for you. First off, they are priced differently. The suggested Standard Edition release retail value is $124.99. The 1701 Premier Edition suggested retail price was $149.99. The Premier Edition includes everything in the standard kit, as well as several added value items, including optional pilot version parts, a number of certificate of authenticity, special commemorative packaging, and a 1701 Club exclusive t-shirt. Scheduled release was in 2012. The Premier kit will be released in September, with the standard kit being released in October, with the parts pack released in October as well. These parts packs included the lighting kit, the deluxe lighting kit, and the supplemental parts pack. One of the differences in the lighting kits is that the deluxe version comes with complete weathering decals for the entire ship. The supplemental parts pack include alternate parts of the ship, so the Enterprise can be made as she appeared in the pilot versions The Cage and Where No Man Has Gone Before. These optional parts would be included in the Premier Edition of the kit, but not in the standard release. In 2016, an alternative primary hull was offered in a separate kit. The difference in this optional kit is that there are no grid lines on the primary hull. In light of Star Trek's 50th anniversary, the standard kit release would include the smooth saucer section only. The grid lines would be eliminated. The grid lines that would appear on the filming model would be penciled in, and they were not raised on the model. So it was decided to remove them completely from the model kit. Now the 1701 Club t-shirts varied in color. There was the gold, the blue, and the red. The first customers to sign up would get the gold first, then the blue, and lastly the red shirts will be sent out. The first 100 members get the gold Club t-shirt, the second 250 members got the blue, and the remaining 650 members would get the red. It was later revealed that they had received 500 from the printing company of the blue shirts instead of the 250 ordered. So they sent them out to the lucky recipients. The Premier Edition model kit was limited to 1,701 kits. It was very successful and is still the best model kit of the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701 available. As of this writing, May 10, 2021, Polar Lights has introduced the production of a finished version of the 1/350 scale U.S.S. Enterprise original version that will come fully painted and require minimal assembly.